Mr. Ham. Welcome to another episode of Drinks from Eddie Muller's Noir Bar. Each week I take a chapter from the book Eddie Muller's Noir Bar, Cocktails Inspired by the World of Film Noir, and I talk about the film in that chapter and make the drink associated with it. Today we are going to be talking about the film Lady From Shanghai and making the drink an Eddie Muller original, Sailor Beware. Now, the film Lady From Shanghai was released in 1948. It was directed by and stars Orson Welles. It also stars Rita Hayworth, who happened to be married to Orson Welles at that time. The film also stars one of the Orson Welles kind of regular players, Everett Sloane. I have a kind of complicated relationship with Orson Welles. I don't think there's an Orson Welles film that I've seen that I don't think has flashes of brilliance. I think that very rarely does it ever add up to what I would call a good film that I really like. I'm not a big fan of Citizen Kane. I think it's a brilliantly done movie. My big problem is I can't really relate to any of the characters in it. So that's almost a deal breaker in my book. Probably when it comes to Orson Welles films, I would probably say my favorite is Touch of Evil, and then probably next after that would be The Stranger, and probably third on down the list would be this film, Lady from Shanghai. Now, Lady from Shanghai, apparently, Orson Welles wanted to make this into a 155-minute film, which was, it's not that it didn't exist. I mean, Gone with the Wind was 3 hours, but a murder mystery, film noir, was not necessarily an epic. And, 155 minutes puts it kind of in the, golden age epic length. And I can see why they wanted to cut this film down. What they ended up with is kind of it's hard to follow, to be honest with you. Basically, the story is Orson Welles plays a sailor. He meets Rita Hayworth in Central Park when some muggers attempt to mug her. He ends up fighting them off. Rita Hayworth's older, disabled husband, played by Everett Sloane, offers him a job on his boat because he's an able-bodied seaman. He's going to sail to San Francisco by way of the Panama Canal, and he needs somebody to help operate the boat. En route, basically, Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth have an affair, and then it gets weird. Another character I can't remember the actor's name, but the character named Grimsby, one of Rita Hayworth's husband's friends, offers Orson Welles $5,000 to kill him. And basically, it's kind of a plot to bilk some money out of, I think, his wife or the insurance company. To be honest with you, I don't quite remember exactly how it was supposed to work. The big important thing here is that if somebody offers you $5,000 to kill them, even if you add in inflation and it's worth whatever, $150,000 now, the answer probably is no, because it's just going to work out bad for you, and that's what happens to Orson Welles in this film. As I say, I'm not a huge fan, and I don't particularly, really identify with Orson Welles' character. He's kind of somebody who stumbles his way through life. I think he's good at playing that character, but it's not a character that I particularly identify with. I'm mostly there to watch Rita Hayworth, although I'd much rather have her be a redhead, which is another big complaint about this movie, that that they changed Rita Hayworth's hair from red to that he changed Rita Hayworth's red to blonde, because I think his excuse was, I seem to remember, that nobody would believe a redhead could be as evil as Rita Hayworth is in this movie, and so he made her a blonde. Um, I think that may have been part of the reason that audiences kind of rejected this film. Um, then again, it may be just that it's hard to follow, and there's the story is very convoluted. Whether having an extra hour and a half worth of material in it would have made it better or made it worse, probably, I'm sure we will never know, because I'm sure that footage was lost and possibly wasn't even filmed. But it's an interesting movie, and as I say, there are spots of brilliance, and for me, I watch it mostly for the last scene in the fun house with all the mirrors. That is for me worth the price of admission. So this drink, the Sailor Beware. Now, this is a drink that was invented by Eddie Muller for this movie. Um, and he wanted to do something um, that was kind of a tribute to this movie. And he wanted to do something, and I'm paraphrasing here, but something that was brash and startling, with ingredients that were rarely, if ever, combined, and in a very unexpected way, and then walk away before he finished making the drink, which is Eddie Muller's, cinephile insider joke. Orson Welles had a habit of leaving before projects were finished, or and I think that was probably his way of protecting his vision, but it never seemed to work out, because the studios always took the project back and did with it what they wanted. Had he maybe stuck it out and thought it out, he might have done better, more consistent work. I don't know. That's something we'll never know. But that's kind of the way it goes. Anyway, so we're going to take a short break, and I'll come back and we will make the Sailor Beware. I hope you stick around for that. Thanks. And we are back. So we're going to make the Sailor Beware. So it's a stirred drink, so we're going to start by mixing up our stirring glass, or filling up our stirring glass with some ice. There we go. Okay. Now, let's see, we're going to start. Now, we're going to start with some Irish whiskey, and there's 1.25 ounces of Irish whiskey. So let's see, how do we do that? We do that. This would be 1 ounce. And a quarter. Now, Eddie said here that each of these ingredients represent some aspect of the film. And so 1.25 ounces of Irish whiskey, obviously that would represent Orson Welles' sailor character. Then we have 3/4 ounce of brandy, and that would represent Everett Sloane's character. And then for the exoticism and complexity of Rita Hayworth, we have green chartreuse. Now, if you've seen the video I did the last time we used green chartreuse, green chartreuse is next to impossible to find. From what I've found online, this Genepi Le Chamois is a pretty reasonable substitution for it. Green chartreuse is made by some monks in Switzerland, and I don't know, there's Switzerland, it's Swiss Alps, and they have recently decided that they're going to curtail production severely by cutting it down to like about 1/3, which has made green chartreuse practically impossible to find, which happened since Eddie Muller wrote the book. So So we've got ½ ounce of green chartreuse, and that's representing Rita Hayworth. And then we've got Domaine de Canton, which is a ginger liqueur, and this is representing Rita Hayworth's mysterious past. She is indeed the lady from Shanghai. So this kind of represents the Far East in her past. Okay, so those are the main ingredients, and we're going to stir this. Okay. Okay, now we're going to let that rest for a little while, and we're going to do an absinthe rinse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little tiny bit of absinthe, and I'm just going to swirl it around in the glass. The point of this is that you're getting a very, very minuscule amount of this ingredient, and then you dump out the rest of it. And I think I left my strainer in the kitchen. Pretty sure I did. I don't see it anywhere. So I'm going to just do my best to use the bar spoon to strain this and keep the ice out, which fortunately the cubes are fairly big, so I think I can pull that off. Okay, there we go. And as the garnish, we're doing a lemon peel. So the lemon peel, we're going to squeeze it over the thing, add a little bit of juice with it, and drop it in. And we have the Sailor Beware. Wow. This is one of those drinks that I found fairly often in this book. I've never had anything quite like this. I think it's mostly it's good, but it's a flavor that you don't see coming because it's probably not like anything you've ever had before. Green chartreuse is an herbal liqueur, so you get almost like kind of cough syrupy vibes from it. But this has a lot going in. It's definitely boozy, but I'm not really tasting booze. I'm feeling a little bit of the burn from the booze, but I'm not really tasting the booze. And I'm just tasting something that I don't know whether I've ever tasted anything like this before, which in a way makes it a winner. So we're going to call that good. So from a booth in the back of Eddie Muller's Noir Bar, we're going to say cheers. I hope you join me again next week. And when I do another video, don't know what I'm going to do. But cheers.